everyone, welcome back. It's Meridy here with my first process video using the September 2025 Urban Edge Limitless and Essentials Kit, and I've just mixed them both together here. And I'm going to just jump right in. I'll start with my color swatch. This is the color swatch I made for this month's kit. You can watch me make this and see what colors I used on my unboxing video. So there's that. And then this is all of my embellishments that I didn't already pull out. I go through all of my embellishments first, like especially the die cuts and the loose ones, and I pull out the ones that I think will go really well, like that I don't want to miss for each of my sets of pictures. So I've pulled some for every set of pictures, but this is what's left. Of course, I'm still going to use these. I just don't know which ones I'm going to use. I put all the little tiny button die cuts in here because they were teeny tiny. I've got die cuts in here and acrylics and my stamp set, which I would like to use on today's layout. This is going to represent my journaling strips at the end of my layout. I've got my title, or my alphabet thickers to use for a title, some mixed media. Okay, and then these are the pictures that I want to scrapbook today. I have 5 pictures of my son tying his shoe for the first time, and I think I'm going to narrow down this to only be 4 pictures, because when I start getting 3x4 pictures on a layout, it starts getting really busy to me. So I think I'm just going to use those 5 pictures because this picture and this picture are almost the same. One is just a close-up of his hands, and I kind of like the close-up of his hands, so I'll just get rid of that picture. Okay, so I've got my pictures, and then these are the embellishments that I chose that I didn't want to miss for this kit. I really liked the chipboard little, they're just like gears and things, all the chipboard ones. So I pulled all 6 of them out of the chipboard pack, okay? And then I just pulled a tab, Unbreakable Spirit, this, You're the Best, and Determined, which was perfect for learning to tie your shoes. Especially, my littlest one has some, like perception problems. So tying a shoe was a big deal. That's why he is so old and in 3rd grade, finally learning to tie his shoe. He has some he had some problems with that, so I was really proud of him, and he was really proud of himself. Okay, then I've got these 2 papers that I chose to use. This one, it just looked good with the pictures, like the colors looked good, so I wanted to use this one. On the back side is this, but I'll probably mostly stick to the front side. And then I've got this wood grain, which is just a nice light color in juxtaposition with this dark paper. On the back is tone-on-tone polka dots, so I could use both sides of that. I grabbed my sticker sheet. I haven't even read to see which ones. I grabbed my rub-ons because I think I would really love to use one. And then I grabbed this. It's got the tigers on the back, but I liked the Don't Quit card in here. So I probably actually will just cut out that Don't Quit card right now. And then I can start kind of planning the layout. I probably won't use any other of these cutouts, so I will put them off to the side. So the first thing that I'm going to probably do here is get a sheet of white cardstock to serve as the base of my layout, even if I end up not seeing any of it, because if I use a lot of these on the background, at least I will have it here. And I probably want to put these pictures in chronological order as well, because when I have pictures that span like an activity, I do like to put them in chronological order. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the branding strips off of these, and I think, oh yeah, the back of the branding strip says, strength, courage, mastery, and honor are the alpha virtues of men all over the world. And then this branding strip is just simply some navy blue stripes. That one looks good. with this. Probably won't use this one on this layout. Okay, and then I think, so I can make sure that I plan it into my layout, I think I'm going to pick a rub-on that I like because they are such large words that it can't just be like an afterthought that I grab later. I can put determined little U, or you are determined. I think I want to use this smaller version of the word you because this big one is like almost too big for my little word. So I'll cut out this smaller word you, and I'm going to use you are determined, I think I want to say. And then, yeah, I think that's a good one for this. And I'm actually going to put these back in this packaging because I don't want the rub-ons to get ruined. Normally, I'm all about leaving the packaging off of my products, but rub-ons are a different case. Okay, so now that I've got all of these pieces, I think I can start designing how I want the back. Oh, and I do want to make a little badge and put something in it like you did it or something like that. So I will have to decide which badge to use too. Okay, so I would like to get this kind of, I don't know. Let me move everything off here and try to kind of come up with a plan. An action plan here. I kind of want to make like a banner with just, or maybe, sometimes it's so hard when all my papers are new and nothing is cut into and I don't have a plan in mind. So I think I'm just going to start trimming. I'm going to cut this piece 7.5 inches wide and 5 inches tall. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut 1.5 inches off of the top. So I've got like that. Okay, and I'm gonna move that paper out of the way because I think I'm gonna be done with that. And I do want to put like maybe a border punch or a scalloped edge or something on this. Somewhere. You are determined. I can put in there. Don't quit. I can kind of, I think I kind of want to even cut this don't quit down a little bit smaller. I don't want to fussy cut it, but I just want to cut it a little smaller so it just takes a little less real estate on my page. And I have more room for other things. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, I want to put like a scalloped border with this. I think I want to use. Let me go find some of my bigger scallop punches. Okay, I've got this scallop punch, and I guess I'm just gonna start at the end and just punch across the whole page. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this whole thing or just a small section of it there. And now I'm just going to trim a total of 2 inches. So including the part I cut off. So if you want to trim it first, so you know exactly how big. I trimmed 2 inches. Okay. And then I think, do I want to make it like that? Possibly. Maybe coming off the top. I think I liked it better this way. And you know, I don't think I need it to be quite as thick, so I'm gonna trim about 1/2 inch off the bottom because I have an idea. If you don't have the same exact punch and you're trying to recreate this, you could cut circles and cut the circles in half to kind of make scallops, or you can use a different border punch or tear it, or not even have an edge to it, just make it straight. I'm deciding which side I want, kind of like that. So I am going to, you are determined. Okay, before I get much further, I want to make one of my badge stamps, and I want it to say you did it. You know what, maybe I could say you're the best, and I can actually make this part be across the badge instead of putting a banner. That might look kind of cool. So I think that I will stamp my banner on this gray paper. I think that'll work. It's the back side of the wood grain. So this is the front side. I'm gonna stamp the banner on that side. And this paper is a little bit like almost a little, it's not glossy, but it's not matte. It's kind of in the middle, like luster, I guess you would say. So I'm going to use archival ink, which is the permanent ink, so that it doesn't what is the word? Run when I touch it, or smudge when I touch it. That's the word I'm looking for, smudge. I'm just gonna simply do that right there. And now I do want to put this sunburst type thing in the background, because I think I'll be able to see it just behind this. Yeah, I will. And I think I want to use, this is the hard part, because I don't want the stamps to smudge on here. I might use some Distress Oxide ink, and then I'm gonna go and heat set it so it doesn't smudge on this paper with a heat gun. So I'm gonna use the chipped sapphire, and I'm just gonna ink it up really well and stamp it right in the middle here. And I do not want that smudging, so I am going to grab a heat embossing tool and heat emboss this whole thing so that it's set in the paper and I don't have to worry about it moving. So I will go do that and I will be right back. It's always a little stressful for me to test. Oh, it worked nicely. It's not going, that ink is not going anywhere. And then I could put "You're the Best" right on top of it. So let me go ahead and fussy cut this badge out. And guys, if you do not have a heat embossing tool or do not know what that is, I will link one in our Amazon storefront. I mentioned on our unboxing video that we made an Amazon storefront to put things in that I use on my videos that we don't carry on the website, Not Just for Boys. So it's not going to be like our kits on there, but it's going to be tools like my paper trimmer or fussy cutting scissors, or for instance, the heat embossing tool. Things like that that we do not carry at Not Just for Boys are on that store. Organization products I use, the little bags that you see me use, these little clear bags that I keep my stamps and stuff in. All that kind of stuff is what's on our Amazon storefront. So just wanted to tell you that. Okay, this is super cute. I'm liking how it's turning out. Next, I think I'm going to start adhering some of these different layers because I don't want everything to be moving around on me. And I need to decide right now, I think I want my photos to be matted on one long solid sheet of white. And I probably could just space things out on here so it could look like photo mats. But I've got so much tucked up under and around that I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm just going to make it really easy. I'm going to grab a white piece of white cardstock. I'm going to trim my photos down slightly so that they're a little bit thinner than 4 inches across. And that way it will show the white border between each of the photos. So let me get these trimmed down and adhered on this white paper and trimmed out, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got all 4 of my photos on one long strip, and it's gonna work much better when I'm trying to layer things and slide things underneath. Okay, and I think these are placed pretty good right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this down, and then I'll get everything else around it. And I'll be right back when I've got all these paper layers adhered. All right, guys, then I'm gonna come in with my rub on, and put it in I want the determined to go down here. So I'm gonna put the U right there, and I'm going to somehow find the word R somewhere. I'm not too worried about that right now. I probably have an alphabet stamp that I can use to do that. So you are determined, and actually these rub-ons came with a little tool to help you apply them. So I'll just use that. Okay, and that came out beautifully. And then R and determined. And I think I want to mat this on some white paper too, because it's kind of blending a lot. So I'm just going to mat it on a teeny tiny, really little thin white mat. Oh, so much better. Okay, now I am going to grab, let's see what some stickers are here. Let's see if any of these work. I like this amazing. Oh, I think it's cute. It says #1 fan, but I wonder if I could just, I wonder if I could cover it up. And then I can make it look like this little badge and this little trophy are kind of like a cluster together. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna pop this word amazing up with foam tape and put it right over the #1 fan, because it kind of doesn't make sense to say #1 fan with this photo. Okay, and then I can get this secured down. And then I really do want to get the rest of my title right here down. Let's see. Oh yeah, I kind of like that up there. It needs a third little cluster to make your eyes keep moving across the page, and I think it looks good right up here. Okay, so for the word R in R determined, I am just going to use my little alphabet stickers here, or not stickers, alphabet stamps, and stamp the word R onto this same gray paper that I used for this, because I think that will bring it nicely across the page. I'm going to make these into letter tiles So that's why it doesn't matter if they're not stamped uniformly. These are in our shop as well. I'll link them in the description of this video. But let me show you how I use them. And there is a tutorial in the tutorials playlist of this channel, of our Not Just for Boys channel on YouTube, where I show you exactly how to make these little letter tile, alphabet letter tiles. So if you want more details, check in the tutorials playlist. Okay, and then I still think I would love to put this little frame in here. I think it looks good like that. Just to kind of make these clusters a little bit more substantial. And then I need to decide how I want to write the word R. Okay, I think I got that in a good place, and I'll get that adhered down. Now, I really want to add some splatters or something to this layout, and I think I want to do it with the splatters stamp. So I'm going to use our Splatter Stitches and Scribbles stamp set, and I am going to use that to add some more splatters around this layout because I really like around the U how that looks. So I want to add more of those. And I'm not sure what color ink I want to use. I will refer to my color swatch here. Maybe the weathered wood might look nice. And just, I even think the rusty hinge could look pretty cool if I use it in moderation. So let me start first with the weathered wood. And I'm gonna get the rusty hinge out here. You know what? I'm thinking tea dye might look a little better. It's a little bit lighter than this bright, bright rusty hinge. Let me try to stamp it on a little piece of scrap and see how that looks. Oh yes, I think that can be really nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna come in here and kind of stamp this a couple times. I don't want to use the same stamp like over and over too much because I don't want it to look like it's a stamp. I want it to look like it's actually splatters. And then I think I even do want to come in with a little bit of black and use some black in there too. But I think that's all the tea dye I want. I didn't want too much of that color, just a little hint. And now I can come in with some gray. It does not stick nicely on rub-ons. So if you're, I probably should have stamped before I put the rub-on down and put the rub-on over the stamp, but I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. But in hindsight, that is a really good option. I just want to get a couple more. Okay, and next I'm gonna come in with black ink and do a little bit more. And when I'm using the black, I can even go over some of these other colors of paper where you don't really see the other colors of ink. shows up a little bit better on those. And again, I don't want to use just one splatter stamp over and over because I want it to look organic and like splatters, not like a stamp. Just need some tiny little splatters in black. I think I'll use this one. Okay, I think I've got plenty of splatters on there. Now I can come in and add these little like round button things, especially in the places where I think the splatters might have gotten a little bit out of control, like right there. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay, so, and I don't necessarily need all of these. Like I think that one is kind of too bright for this layout, but some of these other ones are really cool. And then this last piece is this little unbreakable spirit, and I think I'm gonna wedge this right under here. Okay guys, so I do believe this is going to wrap up this layout. It is not a too complicated layout. It's really simple. And oh, my journaling I will probably put in this area right in here. Yeah, my journaling will probably not be that big, like just right down there, or even right in here, kind of like that too. While I'm adhering the rest of these goodies down, I can keep chatting. Like I said, this layout isn't too complicated. It's really just a few embellishments. My pictures are really the star of the show. And I'm gonna have to pop this one up on a little bit of foam tape because it's overlapping that other one. And last but not least, I'm sure you guys knew that I was gonna outline my layout because that's what I always do. I'm just gonna outline it in 3 little messy lines. If you enjoyed my process video today, you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as I put 8 process videos up a month using our current month's kit at Not Just for Boys. If you love our kits at Not Just for Boys, you can either just go shop the website directly and whatever's in stock is you could purchase. Once a kit sells out, we do not restock it. If you want to automatically get a kit every month in the mail, we have a subscription option available on our website. I'll also link that in the description of this video. Let's see, I already mentioned if you had questions about any of the tools I used, I will link as many of them as I can find in our Amazon storefront. I'm just trimming off some little ends here, guys. Yeah, if you were inspired by this layout and end up creating a layout exactly like this with your kit, or maybe from your stash, or maybe you just create anything with your kit, we would love to see it on our Not Just for Boys Kit Club community Facebook group. And I will link that in the description of this video as well. Other than that, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in a couple days with my second process video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.